All right, welcome back to Joe's Toolbox Exchange. Today we are just doing a little shop update, and I'm kind of asking for any input from you guys of how to maybe do this better. We did land an arrangement, so we're going to be staying in this building permanently, which means I'm going to move into it a bit more. I was kind of thinking for the past 6 months or so we were going to be in a new location soon, so I didn't want to put much effort in here. But now that I know we're going to stay, there's some ideas that I want to incorporate, and that's going to be having a lot of the tools up with us. If you want to come with us real quick. This is how we used to do it. And when you guys came to like buy a box, a lot of times you would say you want to see tools, but the tools would be boxed up before they were even sold. We would weigh it all, get the dimensions, and then package it up. So we have rooms like this, a couple of rooms full of boxes where everything is sold, and then they're itemized inside of a system so we would know where they were. So like I knew on shelf 8 this item was, and then I would have the description along with a serial number in here so I could ship this exact item when it's sold. But we've been getting a lot of foot traffic lately, and a lot of you guys want to buy tools while you're here, and this is not very simple because if you want to see a tool, I have to pull it up on eBay where we sell our tools and then show you what it looks like. And then if you want to see it, I got to open it up, and then it kind of creates an awkward situation because if you don't want to buy it, it's weird because we just spent 20 minutes unboxing it and you kind of feel obligated to buy it. I don't want to put you guys in that situation. So a lot of times I just tell people we don't even have tools for sale when they buy a box. And then if they ask, like, I've seen your eBay, then we kind of get into it. But I don't really promote the tool sales to people buying boxes. And I don't really promote the box sales to people buying tools. Those have always kind of worked independently. So since I know we're going to be here, I've wanted to have a way that we could have tools spread out. And we do have access to this entire room. This is like 5,000 square feet. Although it does have some other plans, so I don't know how much of it I want to fill. It's my kids' craft area over here. But the tools will get cleaned and packaged over here. So a lot of times when you guys came, you would say, do you have any tools? And I might just show what's on the table. And a lot of times the stuff, even before it listed, would sell. So I think that same kind of business practice of having the tools out to where you guys can see them, similar to like how a tool truck or any big box store operates, would probably be a better business model and a lot more fluid for you guys. So the first idea I had, I like these side panels, so I'm going to start keeping these from now on. They really don't add any value to the box. We sell a ton of Matco ratchets. If you guys like want Matco ratchets, for example, like cash sale, there's 30% off of list price, and right now online we sell them for 20% off of list price. That's the KMC1 speaker we give away here. I guess I'll pin the link to the giveaway if you want to enter that. It ends on Sunday of this week, which is the 14th. Today is, I think, Wednesday. I'm going to get rid of this cabinet, and I'm going to get some snap-on lockers to replace that because they're a little bit easier to use and more efficient to store some of the chemicals and stuff that we have, along with parts like drawer slides, locks, touch-up paint, things like that will go in there. I think we're going to do more displays like this around of a lot of the things we have. There's a lot of cool things that I keep, but then they kind of take up room, and right now they're just kind of spread out on top of the boxes. And I've always joked whatever box the stuff is on top of is the one that sells, and it does feel that way because you're just constantly moving this. All of the stuff that I keep, it's on top of a box. Now if someone wants to buy this box, I have to take it all off, and it does make it kind of hard to see the entire thing. So the snap-on dartboard, this will get hung on the wall there. And a lot of this stuff I'm envisioning going on shelves. So the solution that I've come up with, the shelving, unless you guys have a better idea, is these shelves here. They're rated for like 300 pounds between the set of them. I mean, it has a lot of tools on it and it's pretty sturdy. And we can just use these like slots. They take these brackets that are basically floating shelves to clip in there. Now, these are just from Menards. I saw them on McMaster-Carr that are similar. They're just a lot more money. And for what we're doing, it doesn't really need to be that industrial because it's just holding, I mean, there's maybe 150 pounds of tools here on the very high end. So it doesn't really need to be weighted that high. And this way, when we have a box sell, we don't have to move anything. I mean, the box can just pull out and we can wheel it out and sell it without having to move anything. And then I'm thinking up above, they make smaller brackets. I think these are 24 inches, or these are 18 inches. The shelves are 24, so the shelf slightly overhangs. They make like, I think 8-inch and 12-inch ones. So I'm thinking maybe do a 12-inch here and then an 8-inch at the top. And maybe the top will be stuff I don't want to sell, but I just keep. At the end of the day, everything is for sale though. I sell a lot of stuff I kind of don't want to sell, but if someone wants to offer me more than I paid for, at the end of the day, I will sell everything, including the micros or promotional items or anything. So that way, like the little micro boxes, some of the other displays and things like this, some of the You know, you guys see it around in the videos, the tchotchkes that I keep, and I'll probably will be able to keep more, because right now that's the problem. There's some stuff I wish I would keep and I didn't. Like we have a Snap-on Epic fireplace up front. I wish I had room for it back here. A Snap-on basketball game, I wish I had room for it here. So that will clear up all the room down there. That is actually a huge converter. It's a 233 phase converter, which is what's next to that cabinet. I'm getting rid of that. We have no use for it. I haven't used it in years. That's going to take some time though. So we'll probably get rid of that. That cabinet will go in another room. It'll get replaced with 2 Snap-on lockers sitting there, which will free up quite a bit of room. You know, in the previous videos, I think the shop tour we showed this area, it was just kind of gross. It had a really junked out table there. So like we replaced that. I think we're going to do more advertising all the way up to the ceilings. I have a lot of stuff up in the front I haven't really got around to putting up just because I thought we were moving, so I didn't want to take that time. But I probably have like a dozen more flags that'll go. I'm envisioning all the way from the floor to the ceiling. We'll cover the walls on this side. And then this side will be shelves similar to this all the way down the wall. And like I said, it may be 1, 2, or 3 tier. And then in the event that we don't have a lot of boxes, some of these boxes will probably get moved and we could put shelves underneath it. And also if we really needed the space, we could get rid of the shelves and put boxes with hutches here or lockers here because they're a lot taller. So that's kind of why I went with this direction instead of just actual shelves, because it enables us to use the space underneath them without running into trusses. And also it gives us the option to like easily remove them. You know, with 2 people, if they're both standing on an end, we could just pick this entire thing up and relocate it to another position without having to take all of the tools off. So that's going to be this entire wall. I think, once again, I'm completely open to suggestions. I just bought enough to do 1 of these. Actually, I bought enough to do 2, but I already broke one because I was trying to hang on it. So you can't hang on these. They say, I read 2 or 300 pounds. And that's across 2 of them though. So if you just hang off of one and wobble, it'll shatter. But live and learn. Then the trailer is leaving here next week and it's not coming back. We're selling the boat. I don't have time for it anymore. And then all of that stuff back there, those are waveform solder pot parts. We use waveform soldering here for another job. And those are spares because those units are really hard to find. So I bought a couple units from auctions in the past to save for components. So both of those will go and that'll free up this entire wall. And then ultimately I'm going to rent out the 3rd suite on that side. So I need to wall off that side. So this entire room will just be kind of an enclosed space, which will mean we don't have to really have a path to that doorway. So I'm thinking maybe a couple of boxes down here, some cool things against that wall, because there will have to be a center aisle to kind of walk down to move boxes in and out, but you could have, you know, stuff along there. That came from my grandfather. That's from Vegas. He impulse bought that in Vegas like 50 years ago. So that picture probably will stay. It's sentimental. And then this entire box row or wall, I'm thinking of doing classics, because the classics are 24 inches deep and these shelves are 24 inches deep. For the shelves, we're using 1-inch pine, just glue ups. It's strong enough and cheap enough. I'm sure we'll destroy these in time, but usually the tools that go on here are already cleaned and they're listed online. Also, if you guys have a better idea for the inventorying of this, right now I have a location item, which is A3. So then when it sells online, because tools really online sell very well. You know, I think we shipped 10 things today. It's kind of like that. More tools will always sell online than local. But I can just know A3 is the correct item. And the reason this is important is because a lot of times, like this ratchet right here, we might have 5 or 6 of them for sale, and they're each slightly different, being the condition different. So one of them might be used, one of them might be near new. So if they buy one that is near new, I need to make sure I ship them the one that's near new. So they need to have a specific item number, you know. Like this plier we sell a ton of. This socket cell, I think I have a couple of them right now. So I just need to make sure that they stay that way. I know it's not the most attractive with the giant labels on them. So if you guys have a better way to do that. I haven't priced everything on here either. I don't really want to do that because the prices change so much. We just 5% price drop forever until stuff sells. So if I put a price on here, I'm going to have to go through and Sharpie out the price every single week. So I think the way I'm going to do it now is when you guys come, I'll either be able to tell you the price, or if you wanted to just pull our eBay and you were interested in this item, if you're on our eBay and just type in A6, it'll pull this item, and then you can see the price that we have on eBay, and that gives you, you know, a starting point to negotiate. I'll do 20%, 15 to 20% off of eBay prices if you just want to buy it here, because it saves a lot of hassle and eBay fees. So you just, you know, rule of thumb, if I say everything's 20% off of eBay prices, you could just know A6 times 0.8 is your price, and you really wouldn't need that much help. I don't know how much tools, we have a ton of tools, so I don't really know if they're all going to be able to fit on this. I don't exactly know if that's the solution. I even think about maybe doing a center row of actual shelves, standalone shelves down this way. I don't know, they're just a pain because they can't really move that well. And we do get a lot of boxes and they need the floor space for the boxes. But on the same time, I don't really want to have the tools and boxes in a separate room. I wish this room was overall larger, but it is what it is. Because a lot of times I might have 3 or 4 people here. You guys come in groups a lot of the time, especially with the big purchase like this. You maybe are traveling out of town. You bring, you know, a lot of friends with you sometimes. So you guys might be looking at tools. He's looking at boxes. I want to be in the same room to just answer questions that you have without sending you guys to different parts of the building. So that's really when I try to maximize the square footage back here. And I think these shelves will do a decent part. I mean, this really is no tools. A box that we get might have 10 times this, so it gets a little bit complicated. Maybe I'll just leave back stuff here that's desirable or I know will sell well, but there's a lot of like niche items I know the average person's not walking in off the street and buying. And really large kits, I don't know if I'll leave back here, like even just like puller sets, you know, slide hammer puller sets. Those things are so big, they would take up a whole shelf. So maybe that stuff gets put somewhere else, or maybe like on a rack down on the end. But overall, just kind of give you guys kind of a shop update of what we're trying to do here. At the end of the day, I want it to be functional to where you guys can still see all of the tools and not have to go to another room. We sell a lot of Matco, so there's a ton of new stock Matco, and that stuff needs to go somewhere on display. Right now, we just sell it online. I don't even really advertise that stuff. I think in another video, maybe I mentioned a ratchet, and you guys have seen me pull tools out of boxes. But past that, I don't think I have ever really explicitly tried to promote the tool sales to you guys, but a lot of you have reached out. When I first started this channel, I didn't really want it to really even mention the fact that we sold these things. It was more of just, I wanted to do educational, informational videos on some of these various models. You know, the specs on this box are hard to find, and I wanted to just, knowing the way that Snap-on's operated, I think in 20 years, I mean, these boxes will still be fantastic boxes, and maybe finding the data on them is going to be hard. So I'm just hopeful we can compile the data as we get boxes in. I'll do the research and present it in an easy format. And then also really deep dive into boxes we have now. You know, in 20, 30 years, this model may be really hard to find data on, but at least this video will live on forever. That's kind of my thought. But as we've gotten into this channel, you know, we're like a month and a half in, we have sold a ton of boxes and tools to you guys, which is why I've really, I guess, reconsidered the idea of maybe using this for, not advertising, but I guess if I'm already doing reviews of products, maybe leaning into that slightly more. You know, when I do the unboxings, the first one I didn't even mention the tools, really where we sold them, and I got a lot of people asking to buy tools, and I would say we probably direct sold 30% of that box straight up to you guys for like Venmo and PayPal, Cash App, ways like this. Eventually, the other company, we have a credit card running system. We don't for this. That'll get changed here in the future. We will do, so you guys can just do like credit card transactions. That's not set up currently, but it will. So I think as we move to that way, I have a lot of you guys too, local in the area. We're in Fishers, Indiana, and a lot of you guys come in every single week. You guys just check the eBay page every week, and you come in and buy tools that you're looking for, or you might ask me to find you something. Then when I find that, I direct sale it. But we have a lot of you guys come in every single week buying tools, and I just think it'd be a lot more convenient for you guys to see everything here. And also, I can keep a visual better of what I actually have in stock, so I can know if someone's looking for something, I'll remember where it is. And I'll remember, you know, maybe this set sat here for a while. If one of you guys come in, I'll remember this set has been annoying me for, you know, like 6 months. I want it gone. We can just sell it cheap and be done with it. That's how a lot of that stuff goes. And when it's tucked up out of the way, signs I forget about it. And then a year later it goes, it's still sitting there, and I end up just taking pennies on the dollar just to get rid of it. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover, I guess. I don't know, a couple of things, maybe your thoughts on how to do this, use the space to the best advantage, and then also how you guys feel about the overall, you know, advertising products here. I don't know, you guys have seemed pretty receptive to that, but I don't like being sales pitched, so I don't want you guys to come to this channel. I really want it to be like a cool place to look at like cool things, cool boxes, cool tools. I don't necessarily want it to be a place where we're just trying to sell to you. And even like the video we did last was the 4 epic carts. At the time we made that video, 2 of the 4 had already sold, but the 3rd one sold today to a viewer that found us on YouTube. So, and he lived in Fishers and was unfamiliar with our presence in the area because he was a homeowner, so he wasn't actually a mechanic. So he found us through YouTube and bought the box. And that was just, I mean, the video went up, what, 2 days ago. So I think that's something maybe we lean more into. You see, it's a comfortable environment. It's a nice place to buy a toolbox. If that's what you guys want, maybe we can lean into that a little bit more. But also, if you guys don't want that and you guys just want this to be a strictly, not to really discuss prices and more focus on just the overall specs of things. I'm comfortable with that too. Ultimately, it's what I started this for. So if you guys just want to leave a comment below with what you think the direction of this should be. I didn't really expect it to have, and we got over 1,500 subscribers. We're getting like 30 to 50 subscribers every single day. That's really crazy. I mean, some of our videos have almost 20,000 views. That's really, really crazy. So I just didn't expect this response, and given the fact that we've had this response, I don't know, maybe I want to approach this channel slightly differently. I don't want it to be a place where I'm just telling you, this is something you should buy, but maybe if I have it and we are reviewing it or looking at it, maybe it is something we say, this is what the price is. If you want to buy it, this is how you do it. Another thing I'll ask is what you guys feel about the giveaways. We've had a couple of companies reach out to us and ask us to let them give us items for giveaways in response for promotion. So maybe they're providing a tool or a product and the product is free and then we get to give it to you guys. I wouldn't really directly profit from this arrangement at this point, but also I would ideally only want to do this for products that I believe in. But at the same time, we're essentially selling ad space to our channel at that. I'm endorsing a company, really is what that is. I'm telling you, I really like this tool. It's a free giveaway. I don't know how you guys feel about that. If you would rather it not be that direction, I'm totally comfortable with that too. I don't mind giving stuff away. I mean, at this point, we sell enough tools. It's marginal. I think like the next giveaway will be for a ratchet. I don't mind just eating the cost of it. So if that's not what you guys want, I think some of the larger giveaways though would be more, if we're giving away something large like a toolbox, it would be a lot easier if we received that for free. But also if you guys don't want to see that, I guess in my mind it would be shilling. I guess if you guys don't want to see that, I totally understand, and we cannot do that. We'll just leave the brand sponsored stuff out of this. I don't really want to be saying products are good unless I fully believe them, so it gets a little bit tricky there. I don't want to step on toes where I'm agreeing to endorse a company and then maybe I don't fully believe in that company, but we're doing it for financial benefit. I don't want to do that at this point. I'm making a comfortable living, and I don't really think it's worth jeopardizing our reputation to be selling products we don't believe in. So I guess that's another thing, maybe approach here. In the comments, if you want to leave down how you guys feel about, working with other brands, possibly for reviews or for giveaways, I would appreciate that info. Ultimately, I want this to be an enjoyable channel. So if there's something you guys don't like, I would prefer you reach out and tell me. A lot of you guys comment in every single video. I recognize your guys' usernames. I recognize your guys' names, and a lot of you I've interacted with in real life, so I recognize you as a person. So I think that feedback from you guys is like really helpful. I don't just want this to be, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess that's the truth. I know a lot about tools, and I know a lot about boxes, probably more than most people, but I don't know anything about a YouTube channel. I don't know anything about that aspect. So I guess we're all learning as we go, and your guys' input is very much appreciated. So once again, I'll pin a link to our eBay below. It's going to be a Linktree link going forward. That's what it's always going to be. The Linktree link will take you to a couple of places. It'll have our website. This needs redone. I've just been very busy and haven't had a chance to do with it. So all the inventory on our website is sold, and it says it's sold. But then it has a link to our eBay. It has a link to our Facebook. We sell all of our tools on eBay, and we sell all of our tools on Facebook. But not all the tools actually sell on eBay. This is just where we list things because it's very easy to list things and it has a lot of eyes on it. A lot of it cash sales, and we just sort of use that as like an inventory page so you can see things, and then if you buy in cash, we just pull the listing. This has never been a problem, so I think we'll continue doing it that way. Maybe eventually we'll put them on our own website. I just don't have time to be doing this. In the middle of buying this building, I'm going to have to, get this entire suite over there. I'm going to need to run gas lines for a separate meter. There's a lot on my plate. I don't have time to deal with those things. So some of those bigger ticket items are going to get left for now. But I will pin the comments to the eBay, pin comments to the Facebook. And also, if you want to reach out directly to me, a lot of you guys ask for stuff in the comments in this video. We can't send pictures. And also, I don't like putting personal information there. So a lot of times you guys might be asking for advice on a product. I can't get pictures from you on there. So if you want to, talk and maybe send a photo and ask, like, is this a good buy, or what do you think my box is worth or something, I'm more than happy. I'm in this for the passion. I love talking about tools. So you guys can reach out to me at joestoolboxes@gmail.com, and that email is also going to be in the description of this video. So you can reach out directly via email. I think our phone number is on the link tree, so you can reach out via text. Sometimes text, you're going to get a quicker response. And then the giveaway comment is going to be the pin top comment. If you guys have a better way to do the giveaways too, I'm open to that suggestion. That's just kind of what we've done in the past, is with, you enter a little link, you give us an email, and that's really it. I haven't really asked for much beyond that. I don't think I will, but if you guys have a different idea of how to do the giveaway, I don't really want to do it through the comments. I don't want to do, some people say like, mention whatever to enter the giveaway. I don't want to do this. That's I haven't found a good way to do that, I'll say, because then you have all of these comments that are in there and I have to somehow compile them into something, which is why I've used the Google Docs. So I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry this video is kind of long, and I look forward to reading what you guys have to say. Thank you.